All right, a little bit of story time. Today is an experience I had back then when I went to a tournament in Banning. It was a martial arts tournament, karate open, so anybody could join any different styles. Most tournaments are like that. It's not just catered to just one martial arts style, but various. In these you could see like kung fu, kenpo, karate, obviously. Taekwondo, they're all welcomed. So I remember this tournament. I was probably about a yellow sash, which would be an equivalent to a yellow belt. Um, so in my category, there was nobody from my rank. That would be beginners, white, yellow, or no belt. So they bumped me up to intermediate, which you would find purple belts, green belts, blue belts, orange belts. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, this person has more experience than me. Maybe they've been to more tournaments because at that time our school wasn't really going to a lot of tournaments because we have a lot of exhibitions and events going on. So what happened was, well, we were the only two competitors in that division. So obviously, one was going to get first, one was going to get second. We were on the same age group. So this was point sparring. So to explain point sparring, in our division, if you do a clear shot to the stomach, the ribs, the chest, you would get a point. And it varies from tournaments if it's 3 points or 5 points. Once you get to those points, you win. As soon as you make a point, they separate you and then you start all over again. So tournament started, me against the purple belt, and we started fighting. So to what I remember clearly, like, we were going at it, the usual punches and blocks. But then he got the point for me. So I'm like, okay, he made a clear, visible point. Again, started fighting. I put in a point as well. He put in the next point. I put in the next point. So at the very end, it ended up that he ended up winning 3-2. He had clear, visible points fighting him. So I was like, okay, no big deal. I'm not a sore loser. You just, in these cases, it's mainly about speed, and about timing when you're practicing for a point sparring tournament. You're not really trying to hurt the other person. So, my intent to fight this guy was to score a point as well and be as fast as possible to hit the target. So at the end of the tournament, we greeted each other because good sportsmanship is very important. We greeted each other, and he goes up to me and says like, "Hey man, like, are you a yellow belt? A yellow, like, yeah, I'm a yellow sash." He's like, "Hey, you know what, man?" He told me that straight out, like, my body, my arms are hurting, my body's in pain, man. Your hits are very hard. And I'm like, like, wasn't trying to hurt the guy. I was in my perception, I was going at full speed, but I wasn't adding that extra strength at the end trying to hurt the guy. But it goes to show you that these tournaments don't define who you are as a martial artist. I mean, it's more of a game. You're playing a game with your martial art, but you wouldn't fight this way on the streets. You wouldn't be throwing tournament kicks on the streets, but it goes to show you that, like, it's what I do know is practicing. We practice about 6 times a week, from having no sash to the point that we got our green sashes. We were practicing 6 days a week at our location, and we were doing vigorous training. So it really doesn't, you see a sash, it doesn't depend on the sash, your level of strength, of power, of speed. It's really how much you put into it. So you could be a white sash that practices twice a week, and that's it. Or you could be a white sash that practices almost every day, goes home and practices some more, And when you find another white sash, there's going to be a big difference in performance. So, I just wanted to share that story with you. it caught me by surprise because I wasn't trying to hurt the guy, but apparently the guy was, his arms were all bruised up, and he told me that his ribs hurt, his stomach hurt on the 2 shots that I actually made, and I was like, oh, you know, my bad. All right, that's story time.